Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, we are looking at some really interesting source material today. It's quite a mix.
It really is. On one hand, this super detailed astrological forecast for November 3rd to the 9th, 2025.
And on the other, this deep allegorical sci-fi story, the StoryScope. Fugitive prophets, weird techno-shadows.
Quantum dawns, yeah.
All of it. So our mission today is to kind of weave these together, decode this core idea that keeps popping up in both, the realignment. Both sources seem to agree this isn't subtle. The universe isn't whispering anymore. It's like speaking clearly.
Right. Loud and clear, apparently.
But we need to unpack that. What's the message? It seems to be about progress, truth,
Yeah.
and maybe getting comfortable with things being a bit messy during growth.
Exactly. And that messiness starts with this paradox the sources mention right away, a feeling of both warmth and edge.
Warmth and edge. How does that work?
Well, you feel grounded, like you finally know what you want to build, solid footing, but at the same time, you're restless, agitated almost.
Because the way forward isn't quite there yet.
Precisely. You're ready to build, but you absolutely refuse to settle or compromise on what feels true. That's the energy. Grounded but restless. Ready but demanding authenticity.
Okay, that definitely sets a complex stage. And you mentioned the deep structure underneath. That starts with the Jupiter square, right?
Yeah, that's the big background noise. It was exact just before this week, November 2nd, but its influence, it's strong all month long.
So what does that mean for us, practically speaking? This friction.
It means the universe is applying pressure right where things need to change structurally. We're talking uncomfortable truths surfacing.
The kind people maybe didn't want to see.
Exactly. And because Eris is involved, there's this heightened sensitivity. You really notice where people have been ignored, mistreated, pushed aside.
So that protective instinct kicks in.
Fiercely. Which is good, but it also means emotions run really, really high. It's not just abstract disagreement, it feels personal, urgent.
And this isn't just a quick flare-up.
No, not at all. This pattern, this questioning of authority in these structural issues, it spikes again around November 11th and again near the 25th. And the whole cycle doesn't really conclude until June 2026. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Wow. Okay, so deep friction, long term. But the week itself kicks off differently. Monday's Mars trine Neptune sounds almost gentle in comparison.
It is, actually. It's like a moment of grace amidst the tension. Think flashes of inspiration, creative breakthroughs, that feeling when you just know what to do.
Trusting your gut.
Totally. The sources say blockages might evaporate as surely as a mirage. It's an invitation to act from compassion, from imagination. Look for those unexpected solutions.
Like sidestepping the argument entirely.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of forcing something, you find this almost magical way around it. It echoes what Commander Lysaven learns in the StoryScope. Clarity comes from listening, not brute force.
That sounds helpful, because things really seem to ramp up after Monday. Mars moves into Sagittarius on Tuesday, until mid-December.
Yep, shifts gears completely. The energy becomes bold, restless. The sources say mildly chaotic.
Mildly chaotic. Sounds fun, maybe a little dangerous.
It can be both. The push is towards adventure, spontaneity, acting on your higher principles, being bold.
But there's a catch, I assume.
Always a catch. You have to keep one foot on the ground. The sag energy wants to leap, explore, go big. But without grounding, you overshoot, get reckless.
Especially on Tuesday itself, right? That Mars opposite Uranus aspect sounds like the peak of this chaos.
Oh, absolutely. Tuesday is pure volatility. Electrical disruption is the vibe.
So like literally things breaking. Or more metaphorical.
Both, probably. Schedules exploding, tech going haywire, definitely that. But also internally, this massive surge of wanting freedom, resisting any kind of control.
Which could lead to confrontations.
For sure. Or just taking sudden, maybe shocking risks to break free. And importantly, this isn't random. The source material points out this is the third crisis point in this specific Mars-Uranus cycle that started back in July 2024.
So it's part of a bigger story about our security.
Exactly. How we react now is tied to how we've been dealing with disruptions to our stability for months.
Okay, so if everything's exploding, how do we follow the advice to pivot, not panic? That sounds easier said than done.
It is. Panicking is the easy response. Pivoting requires intention. It means using the breakdown.
Using it how?
Instead of fighting the chaos, you harness the energy it releases. Experiment. When the old way breaks, you see its flaws clearly. Try something radical. Test a wild idea you wouldn't have dared to before.
So it's like controlled demolition versus just getting blown over.
That's a great way to put it. You choose the new direction amidst the disruption rather than just reacting. It could lead to genius solutions, actually.
Okay, that makes sense. Use the shock for innovation. Thankfully, it sounds like we get a breather midweek. Mars sextile Pluto on Thursday.
Yeah, the energy focuses. Passion meets purpose. It's high octane, but directed. You can accomplish a lot, especially if it's driven by a moral cause or a strong ideal. It's determination after the disruption.
Good timing. Now let's shift focus a bit. From pure action to values, security. That brings us to the full moon in Taurus on Wednesday.
And this is a big one. Taurus is all about security, financial, emotional, physical. This full moon really forces you to look at what actually makes you feel safe. What does it really take?
And this is where the StoryScope connection gets really strong, right? The Taurus nexus.
Exactly. The confrontation in the story happens at the ruins of this Taurus nexus. Stability is ground zero. So when you have a Taurus full moon already focused on security,
And you throw in that volatile Mars-Uranus opposition happening at the same time.
boom, you get what the source calls one of the most shocking and electrically charged lunations of the year. Your foundations, your sense of security get an electric shock. Issues can just blow up out of nowhere.
Okay, that sounds intense. So if our foundations are getting shaken, what's the simple advice?
Stay grounded, like literally connect with nature, touch the earth, go for a walk. If your financial plan feels like it's imploding, focusing on the resilience of a tree can actually help you find that stability that isn't tied to the market.
Simple, but powerful. And we probably need that grounding because things get even more intense emotionally later in the week. Venus into Scorpio on Thursday.
Oh yeah. Venus in Scorpio doesn't do superficial. This is make it real energy for relationships.
So deeper connections, more honesty.
Definitely. Quality over quantity. Intimacy is key. But it also means relationships get, like, x-rayed. Any weak points, any hidden issues, they're likely to surface.
And that intensity meets a challenge pretty quickly with Venus square Pluto on Friday.
Right. That's where desire can push things too far. The drive for depth and honesty is strong, but with Pluto involved, it can tip into extremes.
Extremes like what? Power struggles.
Yeah, or manipulation, possessiveness, coercion, trying to force intimacy or control the outcome. The source warns about heart-to-hearts getting blown out of proportion.
So for you listening, the risk isn't just someone else being manipulative, but maybe pushing too hard yourself, trying to force an outcome.
Precisely. You want that deep connection Venus and Scorpio promises, but forcing it, especially on Friday, could backfire spectacularly. Humility is key, recognizing the power dynamics.
Okay, got it. Tread carefully with deep talks on Friday. Now let's zoom out to the long game, the realignment itself. Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus also on Friday, lasting until next April. That's huge.
It really is. This is a major period of inspection. We're revisiting all those financial shifts, career curveballs, tech issues, the general instability we felt between roughly 2018 and 2024.
So looking back to understand the present.
Exactly. The core task here is redefining our foundational values. What does security really mean to us now? We have to face what's outdated in our thinking.
Stop clinging to old ideas of safety.
Yeah, because the source suggests the familiar isn't actually secure anymore. The message isn't move fast and break things, it's the opposite. Evolve steadily, let go of old traditions that don't serve, be open to new insights, and take responsibility for building something different.
A steady evolution based on new values. And wrapping up the week, Sunday brings another shift. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius.
Yep, until November 29th. And the description for this one is just perfect. Honesty overshoots and tact takes a vacation.
Huh. Okay, so bluntness is expected.
Big time. But the goal isn't perfection in communication, it's authenticity with accuracy.
Authenticity with accuracy. What does that mean practically?
It means don't try to launch grand new plans or sign major deals if you can help it. This is prime time for troubleshooting, rereading the fine print.
Especially for Sagittarian things like travel, education, beliefs.
Exactly. And crucially, check your own beliefs and opinions. Are they humble? Are you being truly honest or just loud? Are you accurate or just opinionated?
A reality check on our own truths.
Definitely. And pay attention to thoughts and feelings around November 12th. The sources flag that as a key moment within the retrograde.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together now. The volatility, the shocking moon, the need for deep honesty, the retrogrades. How does the StoryScope narrative help us understand this realignment?
The StoryScope is basically the philosophical map for the week. Commander Lysaven is us, trying to make sense of this clear but potentially overwhelming signal from the universe, that low thrum of transformation.
And the resistance, the consortium of shadows.
They represent that urge to control the narrative, control perception. Very Mars opposite Uranus, right? Trying to manage the uncontrollable truth versus Lysaven just trying to listen to it.
And the confrontation happens at the Taurus nexus, tying back to that full moon and our core security issues.
Perfectly. It culminates in that confrontation with Corin Vey. Vey argues the signal, the truth, must be controlled, interpreted by the worthy.
And Lysa's response is the key for us this week.
Absolutely. Simple and powerful. It speaks to those who listen. You don't control it, you tune into it.
So the realignment isn't about chaos versus control, ultimately.
No, Lace realizes it's about truth meeting consequence. Growth is messy. The universe, through all this friction we're seeing astrologically, is forcing evolution by making us uncomfortable.
Making us face ourselves.
Exactly. The StoryScope ends with this realignment spreading like a quantum dawn. It doesn't destroy things, it reconfigures them by forcing everyone, every system, to face the reflection of its own values.
Wow, okay, so bringing it all home for you listening. The choice this week seems stark. Resist the discomfort and experience the shocks, the blow-ups.
Or transform. Use the disruption to pivot towards those deeper, more authentic values.
And pay attention to what keeps coming up. The repetition.
Yes. Mercury retrograde ensures that the names, topics, issues circling back now are the clues. They're setting the theme for the next 3 weeks. Listen to those echoes.
Right, so the story ends with Lys holding the helix core, glowing dim but alive, like a heart waiting for its next beat. That feels hopeful but expectant.
It really does. So the final thought maybe is this. If this initial surge, this realignment, is forcing us all to look at our values, what happens next? Once the immediate volatility calms down, what new maps of possibility, as the source puts it, can we create with intention?
What are you personally now finally ready to listen to instead of trying to control?